I knew something was wrong the moment the house fell silent. The kind of silence that feels staged, like someone pressed mute on a life they didn't want me to hear. I'd been married into their family long enough to recognize rehearsed quiet. It always came right before they tried to put me back in my place. And my mother-in-law, Evelyn, adored her little rituals of restraint. She wielded politeness like a blade, sharpest when she smiled. I used to think she disliked me in the ordinary way mothers-in-law do. Territorial, stubborn, unwilling to lose control of her son. But the truth was colder. She didn't just want influence. She wanted obedience. I learned that the night she told me, softly while pouring wine, "Stay quiet. It's better for everyone if you stay quiet." She said it like advice, but her eyes made it a command. Back then, naive as I was, I assumed she meant about the wedding debt she insisted on covering. Money she later twisted into a leash. Or maybe she meant, "Stay quiet about what I overheard her tell Mark, that he married down and needed to guide me." I swallowed the words, the humiliation, because I thought love could survive a little silence. I was wrong. Silence is the first thing they take when they want to erase you. It wasn't one moment that woke me up. It was a pattern. Small things at first. My name left off the family group text. Events planned without me. Subtle digs disguised as questions. "Are you sure you can handle managing the finances? You don't seem very organized. Did your family not teach you that? Maybe don't talk about your job tonight. It makes people uncomfortable." I started keeping receipts. Not the financial kind, though I kept those too. I mean, the real ones. Screenshots, voice memos, every casual cruelty stored in a quiet folder on my phone. Somewhere along the way, survival stopped feeling like enough. I wanted clarity, evidence, and eventually, justice. The message came on a rainy afternoon, the sky bruised purple and the windows trembling with wind. I didn't hear my phone buzz at first. I was cleaning the living room, trying to erase the echo of another argument with Mark. This one about why I couldn't be more understanding of his mother's sensitivities. When I finally checked my phone, I saw Evelyn's name glowing at the top, a message clearly meant for someone else, probably his sister, maybe even Mark. She wrote, "Dinner tonight. Keep her contained. If she starts rambling again about respect, steer the conversation back. She's too emotional to trust with anything serious. Pretend to agree with something she says. It calms her. And remind Mark to keep her quiet about the loan. I'm not letting her manipulate that again." Contained, quiet, emotional, manipulative. The words slid into me, cold and steady, like the tip of a needle, not shocking, just confirming. I didn't reply. I didn't confront her. I simply saved it, added it to the digital graveyard of everything she'd ever said about me. I had enough to bury a reputation. But revenge works best when delivered in front of an audience. So I waited. Dinner was at her house, a long oak table, candles flickering like nervous breaths, everyone dressed as though politeness could hide the truth. Mark sat stiff beside me. Evelyn greeted me with a kiss on the cheek, her perfume sugary and false. It clung to me like a warning. I played my part. Quiet, polite, harmless. I let them talk over me, around me, through me. I let them believe I hadn't seen the message. The calm made Evelyn bold. She asked loaded questions. She made comments about women who can't handle pressure. She hinted that I'd mismanaged the wedding loan she'd dangled like bait. I waited for the perfect moment after the main course when they relaxed, when dessert plates clinked and someone made a joke about anniversaries. Then I spoke. "Evelyn," I said softly, "I want to read something you sent me today." Her smile faltered. For the first time in years, she didn't look in control. I pulled out my phone, unlocked it, and read her message aloud. Every word like a thread unraveling the image she'd so carefully sewn of herself as the benevolent matriarch. The room tightened. Mark froze. His sister stared. The candles hissed. When I finished, I let the silence stretch. This time my silence, chosen, sharpened. Evelyn tried to recover. She said it was a misunderstanding. She said I was taking things too seriously. She said I was misinterpreting tone, grasping for excuses like a drowning woman reaching for air. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I simply opened the folder on my phone and laid it on the table. Message after message, recordings of snide remarks, her telling Mark to guide me, her suggesting they limit my financial access, her pushing him to document everything she does wrong, just in case. Legal, financial, psychological, all of it. Mark looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time, or maybe seeing himself, and the way he'd let her shape him. His face drained. He didn't defend her. Not this time. I told them quietly, but clearly, that I'd already spoken to an attorney about the loan, which was legally a gift, given with no terms, no contract, and no written expectations. I told them that any further attempts to use it as leverage would be documented and treated as harassment. I told them that if they wanted to play games with silence, they should understand that I'd learned to use theirs as evidence. No yelling, no dramatics, just truth, clean and sharp. Evelyn didn't speak for the rest of the night. She couldn't. Her silence finally belonged to me. On the drive home, Mark tried to apologize. I let him talk. Maybe we would rebuild, maybe we wouldn't. But either way, I wasn't stepping back into the quiet she carved for me. The next morning, the rain had stopped, but the world still felt washed, stripped, honest. I stood at the window, watching the street glisten under a pale sky, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Room to breathe. Some battles aren't loud. Some victories don't roar. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply refusing to vanish. And in the soft hush that followed, I finally understood the truth. The silence they once used to cage me had become the silence that sets me free. If you want to hear more stories carved from quiet shadows, stay close.